Hey, everyone, it's the end of the day. Everyone wants a drink, so we'll keep this short and sweet. But yeah, hopefully it'll be a good one. Anyone heard of Skuid in the room? Quick round of those? Yep, couple. Good stuff. We've got some giveaways, so anyone that's enthused to come up and see us afterwards, and you can have a hat which you have to model for a photo, though. That's the condition. So who are we? Let's go next. My name is Gary MCGeorge, and this is my co-director, Jeremy Yearron. We're from a consultancy in Bristol called Design It. We're a systems integration partner, and we also build products for the App Exchange for people. A little bit about our history. We come from a development background, so you can tell that JY is quite old. So he's done some stuff in COBOL, punch cards, COBOL. We've been through client server, rich internet applications, and I guess for about nine years now, we've been working with Salesforce, and we're also a Skuid partner. So I thought it'd be useful if, we've not got much slides here. I hate slides, so I like to do stuff. So Jeremy's going to take through a demo of a very lightweight product, and hopefully we'll have time to do another demo from the Skuid catalog. But just before we go into what is Skuid, a little bit about us and why we are using Skuid. Like I say, we've been around for a while. We started off with green screen. Couldn't do much with the green screen user interface. It pretty much was very limited. There's only that size. Not much you can do, so you can't really improve things too much. Great for banging in records, though. Very difficult to get people off for banging in records. Then we had client server, and you could do things. You had tabs. You could catalog data in different ways, make it easier for the user to navigate. It was a good period of, I think, of computing history. And then that evolved into, like I say, rich internet applications with the advent of Ajax, and you could have fields appear as and when they needed to. And the user was at the center of everything. And then we moved into the cloud, and it was, it's brilliant for what it is. Software as a service. We all know, we all love Salesforce, and it's great. But it went back to that sort of static way of doing things, with not much out of the box ways of changing that. Now, of course, you can change it. You've got Visualforce, you've got Apex, but that has a big code debt that comes with it. And like everyone else, when we moved into Salesforce, we also use Salesforce. We use Salesforce, and we have developers, so we started developing the hell out of it. Why not? We can do it. Let's do it. Then I would go to them. Well, can I just add that field over there, or can you just change this? And they go, yeah, sure. And they go, that'll be about 2 days. And I went, 2 days? What are you talking about? Like, it's just to do this. So, everyone goes through the same sort of ways of doing things. Obviously, with the advent of Lightning, it's got better. But still, I'm still asking the developers questions, and they're coming back with amounts which I'm not sure I can pass on to the customer or justify, as well as that, as I said, that kind of maintenance overhead afterwards. So, along with that, so Skuid, that's what it stands for. Take from that what you want. That's what the words mean. But I think one of the statements from the words that's really struck me was founded in 2013 on the simple belief that enterprise software should stop forcing people to behave like machines. Instead, apps should behave more like humans who use them, so everyone could thrive in the digital world. And I think that's what we kind of missed, is like, you can go, I keep taking requirements from our customers, and I go to them in the Salesforce world, I go, well, you can do that, but it comes at a cost. You can do that, it comes at a cost. And they're compromising, and these are small compromises, and they're acceptable when they're small, but then at the macro level, you're compromising that what? You end up with a system which is poor adoption, yeah, and it's actually very difficult for the users to get on with their own jobs because they're stuck in poor navigation and administration. So, Skuid platform then comes along. So there's two platforms. There's one which sits on Salesforce, and it leverages all that great stuff that we know with the security and the field level security and the logic in the database, and that none of that's lost. It's just Skuid sits as a layer on top of that, and it can connect to all these other enterprise apps that you may have, like SAP or what have you. So you can surface data from your CRM and ERP at the UX level, perform an action, and feed it back to these two data repositories. It's not storing data, right? It's just surfacing it for that transaction. But equally, they brought out in the last year or so the Skuid platform, which sits over AWS. So completely disconnected from Salesforce, can still do all those connections back to Salesforce or to any of the other apps, but just sitting on another service. What do you lose with that? Well, you've got different security model, different things. So if you're on Salesforce, it makes sense to run it on Salesforce. If you don't have Salesforce, then you've got other options. One of the things that's relevant to this area is I'm a partner. I'm aware that some of you might be customers in the room, and I'm talking about a product. And obviously I'm a partner, so we want you to use the product. But the best talks come from customers. And last year at Dreamforce, one of the guys from HPE, the director, got up and he did a talk, and it's one of the best talks I've seen. And what a testament to Skuid. He actually says in the middle of the talk that he's not being paid by Skuid to do this. And I think it was important that he cleared that up, because I haven't seen anyone infuse so much. But a couple of and I can give you a link afterwards to that talk, but a couple of things that I took from it was his inside sales team, which was what the project was built around, had 60 apps that they needed to use in order to perform their role. 60. So, their actually call-out time was about 20% of their actual working week, because they were using all these apps to find out things and to process things. So they got, Skuid was talked about in the grapevine in the company somehow. They'd done another project elsewhere, and they got them in, and they didn't believe what Skuid was saying to them, as no one else does. And one of the things he talks about is the design phase. It's an important phase, right? And traditionally, they said at HP, they would go and they would write lots of user stories, and they would pass them on to the IT team. They would sit in it, they would architect it, they would time it. They would then say, right, we can have a developer in X weeks' time. They would get the developer to create basically mock-ups, right, to see if it was going to work or not. And by the time they'd got all that to work, they'd spent about 80% of their budget, both in terms of monetary budget and time. So they had to use whatever that developer came up with. They couldn't throw it away. When they sat with the Skuid team, in contrast, they were talking about whiteboard sessions. And they talked about them putting things up on the whiteboard, and as they were doing it, Skuid were creating it before they could even finish writing the code. That sort of engagement that, it's brilliant, because then the team that's involved in that discussion is totally invested in the end solution. So, like I say, that's a great one to go and see. From our own point of view, we've had customers who needed to have better reporting elements, who really didn't like the Salesforce UI. This is pre-Lightning, remember, this one. But equally, even we're about to do another project for them, where Skuid will sit alongside Lightning for the bits that are better to do in Skuid, because they give that better user experience for the job role that they do. So it's not like Skuid or Salesforce, it's actually Skuid and Salesforce, and that's a key element. So I'm going to talk less now. Jeremy's going to come up. We've got a very lightweight order application. It brings together information from different objects. We've got a notes object for the people down in various departments, packing department, in order to feed back information on where the order is set. And then what he'll do is, within the demonstration, is he'll change it so that the orders that are shown are ones that haven't been marked as complete. If it doesn't work, by the way, I've heard other talks today, it's not the Wi-Fi. Jeremy's decided to use his own, so it's Jeremy's fault if it doesn't work.
Thank you. Right, Gary's got the microphone, so this probably won't come out on the video, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, yes, Gary's described a basic Skuid application where we're looking at data from an order, displaying information about the order, about the account, and listing some shipping notes. A very basic thing, and what I'm going to try to do in the next 10, 12 minutes or so is recreate that page. Not entirely from scratch, but from close to it. Actually, get that down a little bit, just so you can, hopefully you'll still be able to see that. So this is the Skuid designer. The top bit, you have various bits where you can select components, create your data models, to define what data you can use on the page. And the top right here is where you configure those components or data models, and down at the bottom you have a canvas so you can drag and drop things on. I have created one data model already, just to save time, this is a page order model. It's pulling the data from Salesforce from the order object, and within this you can then define which fields you want, select which fields, so it lists all the fields that are available on the order. We want bits and pieces from the account, so you can then drill down into the account and then select fields from there. So all the linked objects, you can follow the data model and select from that. And for this one, we're having this is to be displayed on its own page. We want to limit it to only pull in the order that's being displayed. So here we have a condition which says take the ID from the ID part of the URL in the page. So we'll only display the relevant order. Okay, so what I'm trying to do to recreate the thing is to pull on a page title, so we can have a heading. It's going to pull pick any data from the page order. There is Skuid has this sort of data field replacement notation, the double curly brackets. So we want to put the order number in, and what I will do, just to avoid any embarrassment, is to try and show it as we go along, just so you can see the page being built up. If it doesn't display, okay, this is good. It's it's displaying the order number. Excellent. Right. So now we can then go forward and put in a. If I could type properly. No. I know it's field editor. Yes. Trying to do this and look at something that's over to the side is never easy. Again, so we have a field editor. We're pulling fields from the page order model, and here we have a couple of sections by default. You can add extra columns as you want, as wide as you want. So here we have details, and here we can then say which fields do we want. We want model fields, and it gives you all the fields that are in the model, and then we can go and say which ones we want. There's a search facility, so we want order number, order type, order total, and status. Created date, yeah. And what's the other one was? Company approved date. Okay, right, that will drop all those fields in. And then we can go, right, actually I want that one up there. Order type goes down there.
One cool thing actually is that come across is in certain applications, customer says, well, I want that field to mean something different here. And of course you can relabel in Salesforce, but you can't really relabel very easily for scenario-based stuff, so it's great for that kind of idea.
Okay. Right, and so we have account, details. And again, we can then just select the model fields. Okay, after these are from the account, so we can drill down into the account, and so we want account name, account type, account phone. Do from there, and then we can go back to order and pull in the billing city and billing zone. Okay. Again, I want the phone down there, and you can change the label of any of these. So rather than accepting the default, you can override that. Right. Okay, save. Go back. Will it work? Okay, so good so far. I think I've added an extra field here, but what the hell? We can go in and edit these. If you use editing tool, you can edit things and change them. And this is all Skuid functionality. That's because on the field editor, we've said it's default read with inline edit. You can have it read only. You can have it always edit. Things like that. Okay, so we have some order details. What we need now to do is put in the shipping stuff. So here I'm going to create a new model, just to show how easy it is, hopefully. Doesn't matter, but okay. Pulling Salesforce, and we will want the shipping note custom object. Again, we can take most of the defaults from that. It's loaded in all the fields, it's retrieved the metadata, loaded the fields, so we want knowledge department, note, order, and the shipping note ID. Okay, we want only to display the notes for a particular order. So here we go, we'll create a condition which says that the order the order is from another model, it's the page order, and it defaults the ID. It makes some very good defaults for you. Okay, so now save that, but we want to display those in a table. And drop that down at the bottom. It knows that we're using the shipping notes model last, so it defaults to that, so I don't have to go selecting it. I can immediately come down and go, right, so let's add some fields here. So we want the acknowledge, the department, the name, and the note ID. And shipping note I want over the left-hand side, actually, and I want to change the... So you can change the labels as you can with anything else. To make it the same as, you can have mess options where you can do a select things. We don't want all that for the moment. Is that one? Just to make it the same as ours. We've got a default inline editing. Right, okay, let's save that. And have a look. This is where it goes wrong. Okay, so now we have a table at the bottom. We're listing all the things I didn't put the acknowledge thing on there. Okay, listing all the shipping notes.
Second.
Sorry?
It's the second column. Acknowledged.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah, beg your pardon. Okay, so we've got that, but I'll just to prove that it does actually work. Yeah, we can go through and edit one of these to say, well, actually it's not acknowledged, or we can change the thing and save that. And that's cool. Okay, what do we want to do is take this and say, well, actually, once we've acknowledged something, I don't want to display it. Not interested anymore. I only want to look at the actions that are still to be performed. We've got our table, we've got our model. So what we can do is go back to model and say, for the shipping notes, actually want to add another condition to say only show the acknowledged ones, where acknowledged is false, because it's a boolean. It just shows it as a text box, as a checkbox, so we can deselect it to show the false ones, and now we should only be showing the couple that aren't checked. Excellent. But so we can edit these and save that. But it still appears, because there's one more thing we need to do, and that is refresh the model. So there are, against models and various other controls, there are actions. You can define an action, and the one we want for this one is on an event. So when the model is saved, so when we've updated something, we want to add an action to query model shipping notes and replace the existing data. So if you go back here and reload, the one we've got is no longer there, and if we edit this and save it, it disappears. And yeah, as you can see, that is recreating the original page we had. Okay, it's a fairly simple thing, but it gives you an idea of what you can do within Skuid. And there should be a few minutes for Gary to show you the whizzy wonderful stuff from the Skuid demo org.
Yeah, so thanks Jeremy. So that's a quick one, and it's obviously very simple compared with the last one on Einstein stuff. I mean, that was pretty good, right? So what Skuid do is for your partners is they build on Skuid, loads of demonstrations to show people about Skuid, which is great, including like notes on it and how to talk about it. There's even, I don't even have to talk about this one because there's a video and you could just watch that, but I'll try and go through it today. So the one I'm going to go through to is Keep CPQ. This is a common one we get from clients. Yeah. Now there are products out there that you can buy, and they're not the cheapest things in the world, and you might only use a certain percentage of the functionality. I also have clients who buy CPQs and still their way of pricing and modelling products doesn't fit in with the CPQ. So if you have got that specific business requirement, you need to do it your way, and it's a great tool for that. So if I just launch this straight into the CPQ. Go. So this is like, first of all, it's leading their users through a process, making it simple. So you've got 4 steps. You've got to create the quote, add some products, manage the quote, and then publish. So the first thing we want to do is just send this quote out to someone at Sign Energy. So just select a contact, and we'll go for John Smith, and then I'll do next. So now I'm going to add some products. Now this is kind of like you see on websites, I guess, product configurator. So we've got all our hardware products that we've got here first. I can then select the list based on, I'm only interested in bundle products, or I can go back to single. I can say actually I'm only interested in desktop products, and it filters it down. So quite quickly the reps are getting to the right things for the quote. And once they've decided on what it is they're after, you can add that to quote. Then on the right-hand side, it's coming out how this quote is building up. Yeah. And then maybe I want to add some software into this. And let's see if I go. And I select a number of licenses. This one, let's just go for 1. And let's do it over a 3-year warranty period. And when it starts, and then you can, once again, you can select by business size or whatever you want, and you can choose a product and add that to the quote, and so on and so on. So I could add multiple things here. I do next, and then here's where, like I talked about in the past, where things used to be good, where, as you're doing it, so here's, I want to give a 10% discount on this, and the margin health is staying acceptable. That's cool. Yep, cool. And so if I then pump that up and want to give a 25% discount, still saying good, very generous company. If I go 30, too low, yes? The reps, right as they're doing it, they're not saving it and then getting told, they're doing it in line, and they're doing it, quickly, and then they're able to do it over the phone. I can add extended warranties. There's also a thing here for tiered pricing that they've built in, so should you wish to apply things that way, so extra features that were added. The other thing that I didn't say is most of this information is coming from Salesforce objects. That bottom part, the shipping and the handling rates, is coming from a web service, a REST API. So that idea of surfacing information from multiple systems at the UX level is really good. And then, if I quite this has gone over. I can't get. Is this on Zoom? There you go. I go next, then what it does is it creates me a nice PDF with what I've just selected. So I've got a cover page, the quote summary of some case studies, and a cover letter and a bit about the company. If we know this customer and they don't want about us and they've seen the case studies before, you can just deselect those, and it's just the quote that comes up. It's quite simple. You've seen them in CPQs, right? This is one built for a specific purpose for that company and does enough for what they want to do. So hopefully that gives you a good flavour of what the tool does. A couple of things to point out. The application that Jeremy built, very simple. We only had 10 minutes. Skuid do these an app in a day workshops. They're doing them in London currently. I think they'll be moving them into Europe. I recommend you go along. It is fantastic, just quite what you can create in that time. I guess we'll take some questions. We've got a few minutes. Sure.
He is working with Classic as well.
He works with Classic as well, yeah, absolutely. And Lightning has got better, I think. There's some people that have had some issues with it, obviously when Lightning's been coming on board, but we've got a project at the moment where the client's on Lightning, and you can put a theme in for Lightning theme on Skuid, and it sits seamlessly within the whole process.
I have two questions. One is, maybe you already responded in a way that you can put a Lightning theme. In terms of the UI customization, I could see that, correct me if I'm wrong, even on a field level, you have the ability to add a CSS style.
Yeah, absolutely.
But in terms of the layout, how is that driven in terms of that customization? Is it as well point and click there, or you can also add those CSS, HTMLs?
You could add your own CSS libraries into it, or at field level, or a top level, site level. There are templates out there as well that they provide. So yeah, it's complete. It's like they call it, they say no code in Skuid, and it's not untrue. There are certain times that with CSS you have to do a little few things to get the things that you want, but hopefully that's the 5 to 10% rather than the 90.
So you have that ability also from a point of view defining.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
The second question is on the actual CPQ, which I think is quite cool because it's really simple. But I saw that when you press there, you have tiering kind of discounts. How powerful is the application to create that in a kind of larger scale? Because we all know that from a CPQ standpoint, you have customers that you already know. You don't need to choose. You know, if that specific customer is like a tier A, a very important customer, you know that if they purchase like volume-based product, that he will automatically be associated to a specific type of discount.
Yeah, I mean, that's the sort of stuff you could do in the background in Salesforce, to be honest. It doesn't need to be in Skuid, but Skuid could certainly surface that business logic, if you like, within its tool. But also within Skuid itself, you've probably seen that you can choose required fields at that level as well and above. So you can do it in either or. I'd suggest you move that sort of logic back to Salesforce.
The way I saw it, yes, I just wanted to see how powerful or...
Yeah, it's really your imagination, right? That's what it is. But I guess what we're saying is you can do all this in Lightning, right? That's what the guy from HP, which is a really good team, and they could have done it in Lightning, but they couldn't have done it in Lightning in the same sort of timescales as they could have done it in Skuid. And I think that other idea, the two things for me are that, and the other one is that ability to surface data from multiple places in one place for that need is fantastic.
From a UI point of view, I think it's really powerful. Just one last question. In terms of rendering that information, is it browser-based, server-based?
It's browser.
It's all browser.
Yeah.
That's all.
Cool. Anything else? Right, we've got some bags. We've got some badges and that for people who don't get bags. But yeah, you're welcome to come up if you want a bag or you want to talk further. And great. Thank you. Great.